Download the AllStar app. Make your picks for UFC fights, challenge your friends, level up and win prizes. Link in description. Get it now. Now let's move on to the main event, the final fight of the pay-per-view. It is for the middleweight title, Alex Pereira versus Israel Adesanya. Pereira, 35 years old, 6'4" orthodox fighter, 7-1 record, 4-0 in the UFC, 7-fight win streak. His most recent wins are over, of course, everybody knows Sean Strickland, Bruno Silva, Israel Adesanya, 86% finishing rate, 6 knockouts. He is the underdog as the champion. Israel Adesanya on the flip side, 33 years old, 6'4" switch stance fighter, 23-2 record, 12-2 in the UFC. His most recent wins are over Jared Cannonier, Robert Whittaker, and Marvin Vettori. He has a 65% finishing rate, all KOs, 15 KOs in his career. James, give us some insight, man.
Great fight, great main event. The fourth time these guys are fighting, and I'm still super excited for it. You know, they could probably fight 10 times and I'd be as excited for it because they're so evenly matched. They're both 6'4", both have an 80-inch reach. I mean, it's quite funny, you know, same weight class, fought 4 times, both glory fighters, ex-glory fighters, kickboxing world champions, whatever you want to say, great strikers. Yeah, it's going to be a real good fight, man. I think that I understand why Israel is the favorite, you know, even though he's lost 3 fights. You never really see that. You don't see a guy who's like 0-3 against someone and he's still the favorite. Just shows you how much people respect Izzy's skill set. And if you actually look at the fight in the whole, if you look at all 3 fights, and I've watched all 3 fights multiple times, and if you look at all 3 of those, Izzy has won the majority of the minutes. Izzy's won about 65, 70% of the minutes of those fights, but he's 0-3, right? So it just shows you that Alex has the touch of death. You know, he's got that left hook. The left hook is insane. It's like nothing I've ever seen before in MMA. I did a tweet earlier. I said, Alex's left hook is the new Crow Cop left high kick, right? Because it's like one weapon that just supersedes all of his weapons. You know, people want to comment like, no, he's got good right uppercut and stuff. Listen, his left hook is miles above any of his other strikes, you know. It's the touch of death. It can't be called anything else. One touch and it's done. And if you go back and watch the last fight, Izzy and Alex Pereira, yeah, he knocked him out with like a flurry, but it was a left hook that really, really basically ended the fight. You know, after he hit the left hook on him, the fight was ended. So is he going to catch that left hook again? I mean, it's definitely possible. It's quite funny to think because Izzy said in his interview, I'm sure you guys watched it, wasn't in the press conference, I don't think, but it was in the interview. I haven't watched the full press conference, but I saw a clip of Izzy speaking about his game plan. And it kind of let slip that he was going to put him on his back. That's what he said verbatim, right? So is he going to go out there and get takedowns? In my head, it's like, you're a kickboxer, you're a man, you have ego. Do you really want to just win like a grappling decision? Like, I'm pretty sure you want to knock this dude out. Then in other interviews, he's like, I'm going to knock him out worse than he's ever knocked me out. So it's just going to be interesting to see if Izzy's going to go in there with a different game plan. Because I know the City Kickboxing boys are out here in Auckland, right? And I've trained at City Kickboxing multiple times, and I know that their game planning is very elite, right? So it will be interesting to see if he does that. But the way I see the fight playing out is like, it's a 50-50 fight, man. It really is. I mean, go back and watch all their first 3 fights. It's 50-50. I'm going to pick Alex Pereira just because I think in a 50-50 fight, the guy with more finishing upside, you kind of lean him. And that is Alex Pereira, in my opinion. But Izzy already almost knocked this dude out twice. He can definitely catch it. I'm rooting for Izzy big time. But overall, I will pick Alex Pereira to knock him out. But I'm not confident at all. Like I said, 50-50 for me.
J-Spec, 50-50 for you?
Absolutely not. Dude, back in the history of fighting, I'll give you a small history lesson. There was an all-time fighter of his era. His name Muhammad Ali. Came across a guy with a killer left hook. His name is Smoking Joe Frazier. The left hook ends eras, and that's just what it is. Alex Pereira is a great striker, and he doesn't spam his money punch. That's the best part about him. He sets you up for it. He gets it in there, and he doesn't overdo it. He never overthrows it too much. He never makes it too repetitive and all that. Real quick, Brianna Frost saying no, sorry, wrong one. Hart says Izzy, Head says Alex. This is do or die for Adesanya. He needs to follow through after a hard punch that lands and attack, be aggressive, and for bloody sake, protect his face so Alex doesn't knock him out again. Let's be controversial and say Izzy by knockout. There's so many takes on here. I'm sorry, folks. I'm not going to read them all, but I'm gonna pick this another one at random. 777s says I think Izzy stays more composed. Last fight we were 4 seconds away from it, and still the fight poll comes in strong. 61% of the fans going with an and still for Alex Pereira, and I am with them. All right. When it comes to dominating someone repetitively, I was in a completely different sport, but it happened for me, and luckily I was on the winning side of it. 3 times I had the advantage. For a fourth time, we went head to head for the trophy, and I took it. And the same thing's going to happen for Alex. So let's go, Pereira.
All right. Twitter's an interesting place, because you get to like scroll down and see like all of the tweets that people put out and their analysis, and there's some really, really good, solid analysts on Twitter, right? That don't even have big jobs. But I saw something about the wrestling exchanges from the first fight and how it was broken down. And when Izzy did get his one takedown, it was kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say it was luck, but it was just like really good positioning, right? Where he kind of like moved his body perfectly to like leverage Pereira's body and like got on top. But and when you look at the takedown that Pereira got, that was more of a solid takedown, right? He went for like a double leg and put him on his back. But then when they actually got to the ground, Adesanya did a better job of keeping Pereira down with the wrist control, right? I think Adesanya is going to grapple more in this fight. This is my envision of the fight. I think he's going to grapple more. He's going to be in the clinch a little bit more with Pereira and try to wear him down as more. But I think he's going to start that off early, and I think he's going to do it early and often. I see Adesanya winning this fight. I don't see Pereira landing that bomb in this one coming up. I see that Izzy's going to be more controlled, and I think his gas tank will be a little bit better, because it looked like Adesanya gassed a little bit. James, did you see that in the first fight? I just want to get your thoughts on that. Did you see him gas a little bit?
Maybe a bit from the wrestling, but I honestly thought that Alex gassed way worse, because the grappling was in round 3, and in round 4, Alex didn't really do anything, until the last final minute. So I think the wrestling gassed them both out, because they're both kickboxers. They're not used to it as much. But I think even more on the Alex side, to be honest.
But he had that, like you said, he had that fucking rocket, man. It doesn't matter if you're gassed or not, as long as you're standing. And he doesn't cock it. It's just perfect, and the technique is great, and the kiss of death, like people like to say. But I feel like Alistair, he's not gonna land that, and we're gonna end up having a trilogy. We're gonna have a trilogy in this one, and I think Adesanya goes in there and he wins a decision. I think we're gonna go 25 minutes, and he gets the victory in this one.